Welcome back to another episode of the Tiny Mic Sessions. As you know, the Tiny Mic Sessions is a series of interviews where I take my tiny mics and I go all around Montreal to interview your future favorite musicians and their industry specialists that are their favorite. This episode is actually a very special episode, both because we have an amazing guest here today, but also because this is the last Tiny Mic we're filming before the start of La Session Season 2 in partnership with Choc.ca, the radio of the University of Quebec à Montréal, UQAM. We're very excited to partner with them for season 2, and that's starting very soon. So if you want to join us on that journey, feel free to find us on social media, on Instagram, YouTube, and on Spotify, and keep posted by subscribing. Today, I have the joy of being joined by David Rourke. He's a jazz guitarist, a composer, a vocalist, the winner of the Jarek Smetana Jazz Guitar Competition, and also a pretty big Steely Dan fan from what I've heard. Is that true?
Yeah, 100%. That's me. That's my bio right there.
Yeah, that's exactly what's on your website. Okay, got it. I'm glad I got it. Perfect. So thank you so much for being here. Really happy to have you on. For the people that might be fans of La Session but don't know you yet, do you think you could tell us a little bit more about what it is about your journey as a musician that has made it so you make the kind of music you make now?
Sure. Well, I've been listening to pop music my whole life, pop and rock. So Steely Dan for a long time, as you mentioned. Paul Simon, the Beatles, all that kind of music, Elton John, Billy Joel. And then in high school, I became obsessed with jazz. First, I had a teacher in my high school, Franco Proietti, who some of you may know. He's a great sax player. So he kind of got me to check out some jazz because I knew it's something I should know about, but never really listened to it. And then I was listening to Coltrane and Barney Kessel and all these great artists. And then I did the jazz camp Domaine Forget. I did the jazz week. The last year they had jazz there, as far as I know, at Domaine Forget in Saint-Irénée. It was beautiful. And that's where I totally fell in love with jazz. There was Joe Lovano was the guest, who's a great sax player. And then a bunch of faculty from McGill, Université de Québec, or Université Laval at Québec, I mean. And it just transformed my life. Became obsessed with jazz pretty much that week.
It was never the same.
Never the same. And I started listening obsessively to jazz, trying to find all the records I could. And then I did Vanier. I did 2 years at Vanier. Studied with Nick DiTommaso, the best guitar teacher I've ever had. Some of you know Nick. And shout out Nick DiTommaso. But also, actually, right before I started at Vanier, I met this legendary jazz guitarist, Tony Romandini, who actually lived in Baie-d'Urfé, where we are right now. Not to dox myself, but we're in Baie-d'Urfé. Tony Romandini lives in Baie-d'Urfé. Actually, he's passed away. He died in 2020. He was in his 90s. He played with everybody. He played with Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie and all the great jazz musicians.
And so you got to learn with him.
Studied with him before I went to Vanier, and that was a big change for me too, because to study with him, he had all this knowledge, but also all this experience, and he really lived through it. And man, that's been one of the most important relationships of my life. Studying and getting to know Tony, and then his health got a bit bad, and he wasn't really playing anymore, but I was still going over to his house every other week or so just to hang out, and that was amazing. And then I did McGill, which was great, and then I did Juilliard. I did my master's at Juilliard in New York, where I live. And during COVID, sorry, I'm talking a long time right now, but during
this is the point. This is an interview, David.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm talking a lot about myself. What's going on here?
No, but I mean, I'm curious because there's so many influences in the stuff that I listen to of yours that I'm just so much has to have happened for music like this to come out of somebody. You know what I mean? You don't just happen to make prog rock, jazz, pop. That doesn't just come out of people. I don't know.
Maybe high school, I was obsessed with prog rock, Genesis and Yes and Rush. And King Crimson and Gentle Giant and Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Obsessed. I started a Genesis tribute band.
No way. In high school?
We'd rehearse here in this barn in high school. Well, it started, I think I was 13, and I saw on Kijiji someone was looking for a guitarist in their Genesis
On
tribute band.
Kijiji?
And I was so excited because I was so obsessed with Genesis. I reached out to them, and then they're like, "Oh, you're left-handed? Sorry, we don't want you. We want it to look right." And it was just it destroyed me. So I said, "I'm going to start my own." Anyway, obsessed with Genesis. Yeah, so that's the prog. But jazz has been
also a big
the
influence,
biggest
right?
influence, I think. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, I wanted to say congratulations on Apple Hill.
Thank you.
Your latest release, very
Thank you.
fun, very cool. We were bumping it in the car on the way here. I want to know if we spoke about it a little bit. Speaking about your earlier influences, if I was, let's say, a fly on the wall in your kitchen in the era of David when you wrote the material for Apple Hill, what would be playing?
What would I have been listening to?
Like for that to come out specifically.
Interesting. A lot of Todd Rundgren. Always a lot of Todd Rundgren. Let's think. I'm gonna try. Each song I could probably point to like specific songs or artists that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm drawing from that.
Do you have a favorite song?
Favorite song? Off my album?
No, well, in this release.
It changes a lot. It's probably Taking You for a Spin, which is the most recent song. So maybe that makes sense. I think often artists, it's like
it's your new baby. You're just excited.
Yeah, but I like Heartstopper a lot on that one. That's the most.
I was gonna say that's one of my favorites.
Thank you. It's very pop. I like Bubbly Banter. Maybe those three are my favorites.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, because there's a lot of songs on the album. Some songs had already been out a little bit, like as singles, a little bit before the album release.
Yeah.
But it's a nice combination of the last 12 songs or so that I think were strong enough to be on one album together.
So are you saying there was material that was cut out?
Yeah, I think some unfinished songs actually.
How does that happen? Like, how does the selection process? How did you get cut?
Well, you're
from
racing
a David
against.
Rourke album.
Yeah. Well, very strict cutoffs. No, it's you're racing against the clock. I find with songs, at least in my experience, like it's like an arc or something. I'm really into an idea or a
before it starts to feel old.
Before I'm like over it,
Oh
and
no.
The danger is like I kind of do everything myself. I play most of the instruments.
Yeah.
I mix it. I arrange it, produce it, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of hours listening to the same stuff over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a song I really like, I can make that last, staying interested in it. But sometimes it's like, I'm just so over this song, unfortunately. I mean, maybe that's not what I should be saying right now. It just came out. But
no, but I think it just reflects how fast-paced your creative process is, I guess. Like how quick is the pipeline from like idea to song?
Well, because I'm doing like kind of everything, it's actually quite long, I think. Like I can have a song that takes maybe a year sometimes, which is too long to be working on the same thing. I think you got to be quick. I really think that's
What's your
the
ideal
answer.
then?
Ideal timeline would be like, if I could, a month for one song. That'd
be like you're in it every day. Like you don't have time to like. That's the
it.
danger. Like I feel like I have to be able to zoom out a little bit, or like put it down for a couple days and then re-listen to it and be like, this mix is wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's so hard to be objective about your own stuff, but it is good to step away from it and like not think about it, not listen to it for a while, and then come back to it. But I really think songs, it's kind of capturing a moment.
Yes.
So if I write a song, it reminds me of the period in my life when I wrote it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it needs to keep that, or else it gets a little too like diluted. If I have a song that I'm working on for like years, then it's like, what is it even about? Because I'm not really.
It doesn't fit anymore.
No, I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago, or at least I feel that way. So, I think it should be quick if you can. Mm-hmm. But when you're doing everything yourself, it's like almost impossible, as you say. Because I'm gigging all the time, so it's finding time to work on my music, and plus it takes a certain kind of headspace to be creative. It's like really draining.
Yeah,
like,
you find it draining. So it like everybody has a different relationship with that. For some people, it's like, Oh, you know, like,
it's my favorite headspace to like be creative and just to like give in to the moment and just, you know, they don't always come, but when they come, it's like heaven. But yeah, what was I gonna say about that?
You would rather it be quick.
Yeah.
And doing it all yourself is. Do you have like another pair of ears that you like to, like, send unfinished things to?
I have friends. Yeah, I have some couple buddies maybe, or not. You know, not.
Or do you
so
keep it all
much.
to yourself until the?
I kind of work alone, and that's kind of lonely and depressing. I think it'd be nice to. I mean, there's a lot of people whose
You heard it here first.
Yeah. There's a lot of people whose tastes I really trust or admire or am interested. But it's also it's like a double-edged sword maybe. If you show it to too many people, like everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah.
You know, for better for worse. So, you know, one person might say.
Oh, they're gonna disagree.
They're gonna say
Obviously.
one thing, and they're gonna say the exact opposite. So.
And then you're back to just trusting your own thing anyway.
Yeah, and it should be like imperfect, but it's I think it ought to be totally you. I mean, unless you're like in a songwriting partnership or in a band or whatever.
Yeah.
But better for it to be slightly wrong, but your
But true, but authentic. Yeah.
I think there's something to that. Because then, if not, then what's the point? Then we're just like trying to figure out the math. Like, how do I write the perfect song? It's like, it's not a real thing.
Nobody's gonna want to listen to the perfect song.
No,
I don't
and
think.
you won't want to listen to it. So it's like,
I don't care.
if you put something out that you're not like totally on board with, and then no one else likes it, it's just a net negative, you know.
It's true.
Whereas
you just made the world worse.
yeah, what are you doing? Instead, you can write something that's, yeah, as you say, true, that maybe a lot of people don't like. Well, you like it, so that needs to be good enough for you, you know. And it is. I write for myself selfishly. I like my music and I like what I put out. And I love it when other people like it. That's so amazing. But I'm not like leaning on that, you know. I'm not depending on people to love it, although it's nice.
In terms of Apple Hill itself, where's the hill? Is it real?
Good question.
Are there apples?
Well, you know what? Also don't want to give too much away, but it's like it's a street and it's like right over there.
You were right, dude. Guys, Phil is behind the camera and he said this earlier.
Phil.
He was right.
Phil knows everything. About everything.
Phil is almost like has scary amounts of. Phil is your personal Nardwar.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I was just watching Nardwar. But yeah, Apple. I also don't want to give too much away because I like people coming up with their own conclusions and stuff.
Okay.
But
well, it's my job to ask. It's your job to deflect.
If you think I should answer, I'm happy to. Yeah, it's the street I grew up on.
Cool.
So not here, but same area. And it's also, there's a few different like symbolic ideas about Apple Hill in my own mind, and I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
That's
cool.
Cool.
Whatever it means to you, if it means anything at all.
Find your own Apple Hill.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to go back on a specific song that I absolutely do need more information about, and it's Bubbly Banter. So there's this song that has a bunch of lyrics in it that I found very intriguing and I didn't completely understand.
That makes two of us.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No idea? There's no way.
What's interesting is that those lyrics, so I wrote the music, as it often happens, I write the music first, including like the melody and everything, which is can be kind of like dangerous.
So you're basically like writing vocalises to your own melodies.
I usually, I'll write a melody on the guitar, usually, and I'll record like a demo with the guitar, not always, but very often. So that one was definitely the case. I just gotten a 12-string electric that my buddy Mason's dad built for me. Love it. And a 12-string electric, it's a whole other instrument.
Yeah.
And so it kind of inspired that song completely. And I just came up with the chords and the melody. And then the lyrics, I remember I'm like, today I'm going to write the lyrics to this friggin' song, because lyrics don't come easy to me. It's a lot of work. And so I walked to Central Park and I just had my little book and I'm just like scribbling, and it came rather quickly, if I recall correctly. But yeah, I don't know exactly what it means.
Sometimes it just sounds nice and you don't really have to think about it that much.
I've been what I've also done is like I'll study lyrics of artists, even artists I'm not like listening to all the time necessarily, but just lyrics that I think, oh, there's something there.
That's interesting.
I don't really get it maybe, but I like the way it sounds, and that's almost always the conclusion I come to. It's like I have no idea what they're talking about, or I have a sort of an idea, but I like how it sounds. Just the
At the end of the day, I think a lot of people that listen to music don't actually pay that much attention to
they might be singing
thing
along
behind the lyrics.
They might be singing along. They might know the words, but they don't know what they
haven't internalized
about,
it. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be that deep.
Like that. Yeah, like a lot of the Steely Dan songs I love. I could sing the whole thing.
What does it mean?
What is he talking about? It's usually very dark and like cryptic and strange, but it just sounds cool, to me.
Okay, so that's actually interesting to me.
Bubbly banter is no yeah. I don't know. And then what's interesting though is I could like read back like months later, I think there's a lot of stuff happening subconsciously. Like, maybe I'm talking about that. Like the line, what's the last line? It's, I've been stuck in 1950. Like, what does that mean?
Have you?
Maybe at the time I felt like that a little bit. I don't know. Maybe.
Felt stuck in the jazz world? Maybe?
I don't know about that. Maybe sometimes, but it's weird to say that because there's no like pretending. I really love that era of music. Maybe there's something about New York maybe that's it's very intense and people are really into their thing, which is so cool and inspiring. Sometimes it feels a little exclusionary, maybe. I don't know, maybe it's a reaction to that. But no, I love the 50s. It's probably my favorite decade for music, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that line. It also makes me think of like Back to the Future too. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Who knows?
That's a cool visual as well.
Yeah. To be stuck in like a year. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know where that came from. But these are just my theories.
Interesting.
My own stuff.
You kind of mentioned having a foot in New York and a foot here. You also have like a foot in jazz and a foot in your own compositions, which don't. There's jazz in there for sure, but I wouldn't classify it as just inherently just jazz.
Right.
How does that like duality affect the way you go about presenting yourself as a musician? Because those scenes are very different.
Yeah.
And the kinds of people that hang out in those scenes are very different. And I don't think the same set of social skills are necessary to thrive in both. So are you a chameleon? What's going on?
I definitely don't. I don't think I'm striving in the pop thing at all. I just do the music that comes to me and I love it and I put it out, and I'm not very good at promoting my own stuff or marketing my own stuff. So it's like, it's out there. People want to listen to it. Great. The jazz stuff is more what I'm familiar with and comfortable with because it's been my life for the last decade. Starting with Domaine Forget and all these camps and schools and the scene, and I feel very much a part of the New York jazz scene, and it's very familiar, like I said, and it's comfortable. Especially at the start, it was an interesting like dichotomy in my brain, and not a battle, but it's like it all started with COVID actually, the songwriting. Yeah. I mean, I've been writing songs for a long time, but it really started in 2020 because lost all my gigs. No one had any gigs.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And I think up to that point, I honestly didn't see myself as like an artist. I saw myself more as a technician. Maybe that
of
sounds
the guitar.
Yeah, of the guitar and of jazz. Like I just knew a lot about jazz. I knew a lot of the history. I'd practiced a lot. I'd studied all these players, and it almost seemed like a craft more than an art, which I think is totally wrong. Not totally wrong, but I've reconsidered. It's certainly partly a craft, but it's obviously it's art. It's high art. But I bring up COVID because I lost all my gigs, and I had this like internal, like
I gotta do something.
I gotta do something.
Yeah, we all had that. I had to fire up my ass.
Yeah, it was a rough time, and I'd never really felt that because I'd always had this creative outlet with jazz gigs and sessions and everything, and all of a sudden it's all gone, and yet I still felt I had this urge for something, and I'm like, well, I can't really go to upstairs jazz bar and jam because it's COVID. You're not really supposed to have people over even, so I'm like, well, I guess I got to record or write stuff and record it. I'm like, I'm not going to record jazz because to me, jazz is a collaborative thing. You got to play with other people.
To do that on your own?
It wouldn't sound good. Like, pre-record. Not into that. And there was a lot of that during COVID of people like pre-recording at home. And, it was a necessity, but I think it's kind of anti-jazz. So that's a little controversial maybe. But so I started writing these like pop tunes and rock tunes because I could execute them more or less like on all the instruments. I had my good friend Daniel Verdecchia play drums on
Yeah.
those few songs.
On this one.
On yeah, that's my first album. So he's on a few songs. He's the best.
You look so angry on this.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Were you pissed off for real? For real?
No, I think maybe there's a big light in my face like there is right now. No, it's not in my face. But I was just like
A little bit. It's a little bit in your
yeah.
face.
I don't know what was going on there. I wish I didn't have a resting pissed off face. But sorry, long answer there, but yeah, how do I wrap this up? The two worlds. At first I'm like nervous, like, oh, what are all the jazz people
Yeah, what are all the
think
jazz
of my
people gonna
pop
say about
stuff?
your yeah, exactly.
You
But
know?
I mean, I'm biased because I also do other types of music, but I think it's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, less and less I care about what people think, which is a nice thing about getting older, I think. And yeah, you know, I feel like people who maybe are not great at jazz and then do other stuff and then worry about it, maybe that makes a little bit of sense.
But because you're so secure in your,
I'm comfortable.
yeah,
I think I'm good at jazz guitar. I don't need to prove to people that it's something I know how to do, and I'm not the best, obviously, but I like it a lot, and I've put in a lot of time into it. I'm confident.
Yeah, you've made some pretty hefty investments, I would say.
Yeah, a lot of time,
a lot of years,
a lot of money.
Yep.
And but yeah, so I mean, I'm doing both, and I like both, and
That's
however
awesome.
people feel about that, what do I care? I can't
What do I
control
care?
what they think.
This is actually a Phil question, but you have gotten in touch with somebody pretty cool to make Apple Hill.
Oh yeah,
And I want to hear about it.
you talking
Can you
about
tell-
Scott Hall?
Can you tell the friends at home
Well,
what happened there? How'd
yeah,
you do
so
that?
Scott Hall is a great mastering engineer, and he works at Masterdisc, and he's been there since the 80s, and Masterdisc, it's like they've mastered.
And he's worked with a bunch of people.
Oh yeah, everyone, Herbie Hancock and Steely Dan.
All the boys.
And Miles Davis on stuff, Wynton Marsalis. Jazz, and also more...
Which
like,
is kind of cool. Like, that's
Perfect.
really clutch.
And so mastering's kind of confusing to people, including myself still. It's like it's the final, process a song or an album will go through.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to work with other people, because my first record I did totally myself. Daniel Verdecchia played drums on a few songs, but I mixed everything, I mastered everything. And
The quote.
yeah, I didn't really know what
Whatever
I was
that
doing.
means. He pressed a button.
Yeah, I mean, now Logic has a
mastering button?
mastering AI thing, which is crazy. But I didn't do that. I used like EQs and stuff. But it's not great. So Scott Hall, yeah, okay. So I'm working on songs after the first album, and I'm like, I want someone else to like put their stamp on it and like kind of make it sound good, and someone who knows what they're doing. So I did have a few of my songs. I had Bubbly Banter mixed by a few different people.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm just like too obsessive or too crazy, but I didn't love their mixes. Maybe because you get
I think you get used to
you
it.
get so used to hearing your own mix, even if it's not great, maybe that it's like you're comparing
I
everything.
feel like it's not the
against
real
that.
song.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what is that? So I'm such a control freak. I'm like, okay, no, I'll mix it because I'll invest.
Because I can't not.
And like I'll spend whatever 20 hours more, whatever, however long it takes me to mix this friggin' song, but then I'll get someone else to master it. So it's a subtle thing, but but working with Scott is amazing because I'll send him my mix, and he might say, okay, cool, yeah, here it is mastered. What do you think? But most of the time, he'll be like, the mix is not up to par. It's not where I need it to be. Try this, add, change this, change that. And it's always
Nice.
like, yeah, okay. And then I do that.
And you're like, oh my God, he was right.
And he's just like bringing me through the force. Because at first I'm like, okay, I'm doing what he's telling me. And then you listen to your final mix with his, changes and suggestions compared to my first mix, say. And it's like night and day. So he's really helped me with the mixing. And then he masters that mix.
Nice.
And it just sounds like, okay, that's what it should
This
sound
is
like.
real.
It's a professional sounding thing. So that's been really nice. And he's just so like straight up and honest, and he's like, this is really harsh and it reminds me of this and not good, and he'll just like tell me.
He's just real with it.
Yeah, there's no BS. He even told me once, he's like, this sounds a lot like Todd Rundgren, like way too harsh and upper mid.
And you're like, but I like that. What
But
the hell?
as much as I love so Todd Rundgren's a huge influence because he also wrote everything and like played all the instruments.
One man.
And actually, the first CD copy I have of this, I gave to Todd Rundgren.
No way.
Is this gonna fall? There we go. Yeah, I went to see him at Carnegie Hall, and
You're like, here.
yeah, and I'm just like kind of hanging around Carnegie Hall after the show, and he just walks out of the artist entrance,
Of course.
and I'm like, hey, I'm a huge fan.
Whips it up.
And he's like, I don't know if I have a CD player. And I'm like, well, it's on streaming and stuff. But sorry, Todd Rundgren. So he did everything too. He'd produce, he'd mix everything, arrange, and I think in all honesty, as much as I love Todd, I think the music can suffer sometimes because of that. Unfortunately, if you're doing everything yourself, it's cool, but like
It's like, what's the word? Hermaphroditic. I'm French, okay? Hermaphrodite.
ça veut dire quoi? I don't even know.
Hermaphrodite is an animal that has both genitalia.
Yeah, right.
Can self-inseminate.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so that's Todd Rundgren, a hermaphrodite.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like
Yeah.
it's like building. I feel this way sometimes as well with my project, but it's kind of like you're building a pyramid upside down, and the tip point at the bottom is you. But you're building this whole thing, but it's all like just leaning on this one pressure point.
Wow, I really
and then
like
it can
that.
just tip just so easily because
Totally.
it's
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's a really good
that's a way better image than
It's a beautiful
fucking
image, the
snail
upside
or
down
whatever.
pyramid. Yeah, and I think Todd, amazing music, and I do love a lot of how his albums sound, but sometimes it's like, it does kind of have this uniform kind of Todd sound, which is part of the charm, but it's like, I wonder how this person may have produced it or whatever. So I'm trying to, work with more people.
Okay, well, I mean, I think that's a good direction.
Almost,
Hey, if you're listening, Scott.
I need friends. I need friends who are really
This
good
is a
at what
cry
they
for
do.
help.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. You're
Yeah.
doing great. I'm not worried for
Ben,
you.
merci.
I have one more kind of goofy question for you, but I feel like it's the kind of question that actually, in retrospect, reveals a lot about what someone thinks of themselves. If you had to pick a cartoon character to represent yourself,
Oh my
who
goodness.
would you be?
Cartoon. Wow.
It could be like over the arc of your life, or just who you are in this very moment right now, like with where you're at in your life right now.
Jeez.
You got him.
I don't know. Maybe Adam West from Family Guy.
Okay.
No,
And so what about him?
I don't know why I thought of him. I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Adam West?
Uh,
I mean, I don't know Family Guy. I'm so uncultured with that stuff, but
there's got to be a better answer. If I had more time, I could think of a better answer, perhaps. But I like Adam West. He's just doing his own thing, and he's like kind of goofy and but also very dry, and yeah. And he was Batman too in the '60s,
there you go.
which is pretty cool. I don't know what made me think of him, but I'll go with that.
You know what? Sometimes your gut feeling is your gut feeling, and you
Yeah.
don't question it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was going to say Squidward, but that's terrible.
No, don't go for Squidward. I don't think you don't give me Squidward energy.
No, just that he's a musician, but that's stupid. I don't know. Adam West.
That's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Is there anything else either about Apple Hill or about your music projects or about upcoming performances that we need to know about?
I'm looking to do a show at La Place des Arts, probably in the fall,
Cool.
at La Salle Claude Léveillé, but I don't have a date yet.
Mm.
But that's the plan. Lots of shows in New York all the time.
What's your favorite venue to play at in New York right
I
now?
love Mesro. I don't get a chance to play there that much. I've played there a few times, but I think it's the best room for jazz, in my
It's cool.
opinion.
It's definitely cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little more intimate. You probably don't want a full like sextet or whatever in there, and they don't have that. But I really love Mesro.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on to the
Thanks
show.
for having me.
Yeah, it
what
was
a
a
pleasure.
great time. stay tuned for this episode. Stay tuned for David's upcoming gigs, and go check out Apple Hill wherever you listen to music. And lastly, stay tuned for La Session Season 2 coming soon. It's going to be both on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on choc.ca's radio web station. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you for Season 2. Ciao!
Ciao.